Hi everybody, I want to give you a lesson on a type of multiplication that we looked at last week. It's called lattice multiplication. I think some of the older children would enjoy this and it could be a good challenge for them. It's very similar to our checkerboard work, especially if we use red, green, and blue coloring pencils. So I did mail these home, but I'm going to go through the different steps and give some examples. In this problem, we have 64 multiplied by 23. And we're going to do it in a different way. So we're going to count how many digits are in our problem. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So here, step 1 says count the numbers. So we have 4 numbers. So we're going to make a big square and we're going to divide it into 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. So then step number 2, it says make diagonal lines through each square. Each square now has 2 sections, one for the units and one for the tens part of your answer. So I'm going to put this here. So I've made my 4 squares because I had 4 digits. We had learned about lines last week and how the diagonal goes from one vertex to the opposite one. So we're going to do that with each square, but we're going to continue our line out. Do you see that? This one will go through 2 squares and continue out, and this one will go through 1 square and continue out. I wrote U and T in here to help you understand units and tens. You do not need to write that. So once we've got our little framework, we're going to go to step 3. Step 3 says, write the numerals as shown. So we had 64. We're not going to write that at the bottom like we do with the checkerboard because our answer will need to go here. So that will be slightly different from our checkerboard. Instead of laying our tiles along the bottom, we're going to lay our tiles for our multiplicand or write our numbers at the top. So we've got 4 units and 6 tens. Just like our checkerboard, we lay out our tiles. 2 for the tens, 3 for the units. That's our multiplier. And then we're ready to get started. So it said do the multiplication first by units and then by tens. Each square has 2 sections. I'm going to show that up here. One would be for the units in our answer and one would be for our carryover. How many are we bringing over to the tens? Okay. So I'm going to actually color these sections, and I think that will be helpful for the children. So I have a green, blue, and red pencil, well, one of each, and I'm going to use my greens for units. So we know that our first category when we do our math in our decimal system is units. And I'm actually going to extend the color here. Are you able to see what I did? Units. Then we have tens. So we're going to color this not very heavily because we're going to write over it. And again, I'm extending it into my answer so that we can see how the answer is also tens. Do you see what I've done? So we have units, tens. What comes next? That's right, hundreds, and we're going to represent those in red. So you can kind of see how it's like a checkerboard a little more easily when you have the colors. So we have units, tens, and hundreds, and now we're into the next family of our decimal system, our thousands. We're back to green again for units of thousands. So this is like a small little checkerboard. Do you all see what I've done there? Okay, so now we're going to start multiplying. So first we're multiplying by 3. So 3 times 4 is 12. Put down our 2, carry over our 1. 3 times 6 is, that's right, 18. Put down our 8, carry over our 1. So we're finished multiplying by units. Now we're going to go to our tens multiplier. This time we're multiplying 64 by 2 tens. 2 times 4 is 8, so we write 8. We carry over 0, so you can either choose to leave that little section blank, or you could write a 0 in there if you like. We're not carrying anything over because our answer was only 8. Then we're doing 2 times 6, and our answer was 12. So we put down our 2, and we carried over 1. I'm going to color them before I add them up, just again, because I think that would be helpful. And the children can color these before they even do any of the calculating. Again, I'm doing green for units, blue for tens, red for hundreds, and then green for units of thousands. So you can kind of see what we're doing here. So when our answer was 12, let's put down your 2, carry over 1 into the 10. So it's almost like into the next square on the checkerboard. Do you see how that worked? And then our next answer was 18. We have 8 in our 10 square, and we carried over 1 to the 100 square. Well, what we do next is basically we just add here in each category. It's like sliding the beads to the front of our checkerboard. We're used to doing that on those diagonal paths, so all the 10 beads to the front, all the 100 beads to the front, and etc. So we're going to do that, and then we add the numbers in each diagonal section to get our product. So let's add all the units. So all we have in our units here is 2. So we write our answer here, 2. Then in our tens, it's like slide all the beads to the front and add them. 8 plus 8 is 16, and 1 more is 17. Put down your 7, carry over 1, so we write plus 1 in here. So here we have 2 plus 1 is 3, and an extra 1 we carried over makes 4. And in this section we just have 1, so we put our answer. So our answer is 1,472, and I've written that over here, 1,472. I've asked the children to try and challenge themselves, to try and do some longer ones. Here's another 2-digit one here. This is 39 multiplied by 42, and again we wrote our multiplier at the side, 42, 4 tens and 2 units. We wrote our multiplicand at the top, 39, so again instead of putting the tiles at the bottom like with the checkerboard, we wrote this on the top because we need the bottom free for our answer. We made our box again 1, 2, 3, 4 digits, so we made 4 squares. Then we drew our diagonals. I colored the sections, green for units, blue for tens, red for hundreds, green for thousands, and we did our multiplication. 2 times 9 is 18, put down your 8, carry your 1. 2 times 3 is 6, put down your 6, carry 0. Again, if you prefer to write a 0, like some people like to put the 0 on the checkerboard with the little tile, go ahead. Then we multiplied by 4. 4 times 9 is 36, put down your 6, carry your 3. 4 times 3 is 12, put your 2, carry your 1, and then you're ready to slide your beads and answer each section. So 8 plus nothing is 8. 6 plus 6 is 12, and 1 more is 13. Keep 3, put a plus 1, carry over 1 to the next section. 2 plus 3 is 5, and 1 more makes 6. 1 plus nothing is 1. So my answer is 1,638. And older children, I would like for you to try and do it using your regular long multiplication so you don't forget how to do that.